circumstances. Become your own parent. Throw your parents' parenting out. Go, okay, they didn't do a good job on that one. I have to do it myself, okay. You know, grow up and pull your big boy pants on, as Judge Milian says. You know, and then you start parenting yourself. And that's why we talk about the inner child, because you are parenting the inner child within you. And the reason why the Bible talks about being like a child, it's the inner child they're talking about. It's the qualities of the child before they are messed up by the adults around them through the brainwashing.
Indoctrination.
Through the indoctrination that happens just by osmosis. Just by merely being around your parents and grandparents. This also explains the sins of the fathers lasting 7 generations. When you have an emotional dysfunctional pattern in a family, it takes 7 generations to reverse that pattern. That's 7 generations of people consciously attempting to remove the pattern. What if people in that family aren't consciously attempting to remove the pattern? It can last for way more generations than that. You can be 20 generations down the line and still have a family that experiences jealousy because nobody attacked that particular issue in the family to pull themselves away from that energy. That's how strong patterning is. So you have to parent yourself. And how do you parent yourself? You become aware of all the details. What state am I in? Why am I in it? What caused me to go in it? Do I really want to go there? Does going into that state of emotion do me good, or does it do me harm? Does it do me other people around me good, or does it do the other people around me harm? And if the answer comes back, it's doing harm to myself and others, then you have to ask yourself, why do I want to continuously harm myself and others? And this will bring up other emotional patterning that vibrates in negative energy. Almost all the time, all of our negative emotional patterns are layered on top of each other, and they're all connected because all things are connected. And when you start attacking one of them by consciously working to rid yourself of a negative pattern, every one of your negative patterns is going to rear their heels and go, hell no, we won't go. Because we're used to being here and you're not going to get rid of us. And so it becomes so difficult. Oftentimes, most people are going to get weary. And they're just going to go, oh, well, throw up their hands, I quit.
Fuck it.
And that's it. Then that pattern continues with their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. And they're, 88 years old, sitting in the rocking chair, dying, going, I don't understand. How come my grandchildren are so fucked up? I thought life was supposed to get better. It seems to have gotten worse. I don't get it. And it's because they gave up. So it's it can really feel like freedom from things like jealousy, hate, bigotry are so far away that we can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of times the truth is we don't want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's easier to stay in darkness because at least we're familiar with that. We know when the other shoe's about ready to drop. At least we can be prepared for it. And if we take ourselves to the uncharted territory of positive energy and positive living, we don't know when the other shoe's going to drop, and when it does, it's a big surprise. But the other shoe's always going to drop, because the catalyst for us to be able to raise our consciousness is pain. and discomfort. If there was no pain and discomfort, then everything would be hunky-dory all the time. And P, why change? Everything's fine. I ain't in no pain. I'm not in any suffering. I got plenty of food on the table. I got plenty of money in the bank. You know, my job's paying good. I have the kind of car I want. The problem is, how come I'm not happy? How come I'm not content? How come I'm not joyous? All that comes from within, and it's all dependent upon your emotional state. How you choose to attach yourself to your own emotional energy. And if you attach yourself to the emotional energy of jealousy, it's guaranteed it's going to cause you and other people harm. So the sooner that one can rid themselves of that, the better off they are. And like I've told you before, John, when I was working and married, I would tell my buddies at work, oh yeah, my wife's going out with her, the guy that was her boyfriend before me that she got pregnant with, but she had an abortion. And that guy really looks at our son like he's his son, because that's the child he would have had with her, and he has no child. So he wants to spend as much time with my son and my wife as possible, because he lost the child, the only child he would have had in this life, through an abortion. They're like, oh man, you let her go out with her ex-boyfriend, you're a chump, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't that piss you off? Aren't you jealous? No. Well, what if they get together? Well, what if they do? That's my wife's decision, not mine. It has nothing to do with me and everything to do with her. Now, if she did sleep with the guy and she got pregnant again, I might have issues with that. We might not be able to stay together because under California marriage law, that child legally becomes my responsibility. Because when you're married to somebody, even if they get pregnant by somebody else, whoever they're married to legally becomes financially responsible for that child. So, I'd have to decide, okay, do I want to be financially responsible for the other guy's child? Or take the higher road and I'll go ahead and pay for it because I love her that much.
Okay.
But am I going to get jealous about it? Heck no. Because jealousy means you're looking to the future. You're thinking something bad's going to happen, that you're going to lose him, you're going to miss out on love, you're going to be unloved, they don't love you as much anymore. All the above that is all made up BS in your own mind that doesn't really exist and is not a reality.
An illusion.
It's all an illusion. And it comes out in the jealousy, and then that jealousy is then going to make a person behave in certain ways because of that jealousy. Right. So that's when it comes down to, do you want to live in that energy and that suffering and that pain and discomfort or not? And the choice is ours. It's as simple as a blink of an eye to get out of it. As soon as we choose to release ourselves from it totally, it's just a matter of a blink of an eye and we're out of it. But it appears to us that the light at the end of the tunnel doesn't exist. And so we feel so hopeless. But that's part of the illusion. That's part of what the negative energy of our emotional states put into our mind. And those are all thoughts that are based on nothing.
They're not even real.
They're not even real.
They're made up.
They're made up. And then they create fear, because all negative emotional patterns are all aligned with fear. That's true.
It's hard not to live in the moment when it's happening, and I constantly keep trying to check myself. Like, John, why do you want to choose to live in this atmosphere? Why do you want to live in this state?
Because you're used to it.
Because I'm used to it. But, it takes time, and I'm definitely a work in progress. But, I think this first step is trying to catch yourself in the moment.
Well, if you live in the moment, fear doesn't exist in the true moment, and jealousy does not exist in the true moment.
So
if you're truly in the here and now, like